years ago, I took to reading the Srimad Bhagavatam, and there's I noticed there was this tremendous history. There's
Yeah, it's on. You're doing fine.
Yeah. So there's tremendous history in the Srimad Bhagavatam.
Yes.
There's stories, and they describe places, kingdoms, ancient ways of living. And I'm really curious, how come not just Western scholars, but Indian scholars, they don't recognize this history? I mean, when you read about history, when you read about archaeology, you read about so many different fields. None of these stories, none of this history, none of these people and places, they're never described anymore.
So that's a very important question. Why are the claims that we see in our Itihas and Puranas and so on not being given the respect they deserve? In fact, and it's not just Westerners, you see a guy called Devdutt Patnaik in Mumbai, who's a best-selling writer, and he actually says all of this is myth, and he calls himself myth maker, a mythologist, and he gave a seminar in Princeton University. The Hindu chaplain Vineet Chandra, who is supposed to promote Hinduism, invites a guy to come and give a workshop on how this whole thing is mythology. So this refuting ourselves is being done by our own people. Now, in the case of Devdutt Patnaik, I can see he does this because he's very close to Wendy Doniger, he's very close to Sheldon Pollock, defends them, and you know, his career and his popularity is aligned with these people. I can see that he has a career stake. But Vineet Chandra he's an ISKCON man. He ought to not invite such people. He's got no requirement when he chooses who to invite and who not to. He has got no requirement that he has to invite somebody who says that your whole Itihas and Puranas are myths, are just false myths made up. Source was taught, a friend of mine was involved in a university somewhere in this country where a course was being taught on myths of various traditions, myths of the world. And so they had all of Hinduism as myths and all these, but the Abrahamic religions were excluded.
Right.
So I said to him, why don't you tell them that this is a beautiful course, but wouldn't it be even, because it mentioned things like we're appreciating the beauty and richness of these cultures, all very nicely stated. People don't understand there's a fraud because they're saying beauty of your culture, it is all myths. Yeah? We're talking about these beauty, myths, exotic stuff, but no truth in it. That's what they're saying. So I said, why don't you tell them that it will become even richer if you talk about if you include the myths of the Christianity and Islam and Judaism. And of course, he got a lot of angry reply from his dean saying that we can't do that because that is history. Okay.
Well, it's interesting because archaeologists actually dig up sites of Bible history.
So biblical claims are history. I mean, did Moses part the ocean, the Red Sea, and was there a virgin birth? And, how do you prove any of this scientifically? So, but all that is considered history, and our claims, our narratives are considered myths. This is a very serious problem. I do not want Itihas to be translated as myth. We should not talk, whenever our own people started talking like that, you should oppose it. So, one good news, I just sent out a tweet, I think yesterday. There is a discovery by IIT Kharagpur. They were digging Varanasi, and they found that there is a continuity of civilization, very Hindu, for 6,000 years, which makes it as old as Harappa, Varanasi. This is just in the last couple of weeks, or they've just, So the point is that we never bothered validating. We've never bothered putting all the knowledge that exists together, and we've never had conferences, we've never compiled the evidence that exists into books and putting it into textbooks. We just haven't done that. So the other side that wants to turn it into myths is having a field day. This is our problem. So it's all part, what you're referring to, what you're saying is part of the same problem I'm fighting. It's all part of the same thing.